Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums. Today, we're going to take a look at a cool little band that were only around for a very, very short period of time. Basically, barely 2 years. Well, maybe about 3 years, actually. But they're, as far as like their albums, when they recorded the albums, we're looking at about a 2-year period. How about a little Aynsley Dunbar Retaliation? A little British blues, right? So, pretty important band on the British blues scene. Made a lot of waves. Of course, you know, Aynsley Dunbar, I mean, the guy's played with everybody, right? Frank Zappa, Journey, Whitesnake. We can go on and on. Jefferson Starship. I mean, just, man, the guy has UFO. If you look at the list of artists that he has played and recorded with, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Such a great drummer. But, you know, you go back to his early roots, and he was part of the British blues scene. So, you know, if you dig, like, the early stuff like Chicken Shack and early Fleetwood Mac, early 10 Years After, I mean, that sort of thing. And that's kind of what the Retaliation were all about. They were a cool little jammin' British blues band. Some really good instrumentalists in this band. Of course, you got his terrific drumming. All the folks in the band were just really, really good players. And these 4 albums are really enjoyable. They really are. So I do want to mention, before we get talking about the albums themselves, kind of a little known to some, maybe well known to others. But if you remember, on Black Sabbath's first album, the debut album, a little song called Warning, right? Really cool, kind of bluesy, doomy, jammy song. Well, that's actually an Aynsley Dunbar Retaliation song. That was actually their first single, I believe, in 1967. So go here on YouTube and listen to the Retaliation's version of Warning. It's like maybe 3.5 minutes long. Definitely a lot shorter than the Black Sabbath version. Pretty cool. It's just a really cool, heavy blues tune. Love it. Very cool. So, all right. So let's rank these albums. We got 4 in total. So I'm going to start off with the last thing they did in 1970, which is Remains to be Heard. Okay. Let's take a look at the whole. Gotta love these reissues, man. Pretty cool, right? So this is basically, and again, just to let you know, so who all was in the band here. So we have on guitar, you had, let's see, John Mooreshead. All right. You had Victor Brox on vocals, keyboards, and cornet. Played a little horns from time to time. And a guy named Alex Machowski on bass. Okay, it's pretty much the same lineup throughout their career, although they had a couple guys who kind of came and went. You know, Tommy Iyer, who played keyboards with a lot of people, he was also briefly in the band as well. But so here on the last album, so basically the band had already broken up. All right, so but Mr. Brox kind of was left like, all right, well, you know, maybe we can kind of, you know, because Dunbar himself had already moved on to something else. But, you know, they spoke to the record labels like, let's crank out another album. So they basically took some leftover tracks from their third album, To Mum from Aynsley and the Boys from 1969. They had a bunch of leftover tracks from that, so they used those. Had a couple of the pieces they put together without Mr. Dunbar, of course, and made an album. So as such, it kind of sounds like that. And I think the stuff that Aynsley plays on, the leftover tracks, are great. The rest of it, it's okay. Nothing spectacular. So we got Invitation to a Lady, starts off the album. Great song. Scorching blues, tremendous guitar solos from Mooreshead. Mr. Brox himself almost sounds like Jim Morrison from The Doors on this track. He's got a pretty cool voice. Really good song. Blood on Your Wheels, upbeat, kind of rocking, good blues rock tune. Plenty of guitar solos on there. You got Downhearted is a great slow blues. Really good. And that kicks your album off, right? Kind of goes downhill from there. The rest of the album is average at best. You even got Victor's wife, Annette, who joins on vocals for a couple tracks. I don't know. The rest of the album, like I said, is just, it's okay. But easily this is the weakest of the albums. But there's still some really good material on there. Next up, so I'm going to go... Yeah, this was tough. The top 3 are tough because they're all really good. I'm going to go with the Aynsley Dunbar Retaliation self-titled debut from 1968. Really good album. This is a One Way Records reissue. You know, I'm assuming you can find some of these. Don't know though. Not Bad Records released the other 3, but this one's on One Way. Maybe they maybe what is it? What did I say? Not Bad may have reissued this at some point too, but this is the one I've always had. Really fine debut. Again, early British blues. Like I mentioned, Chicken Shack and Fleetwood Mac. If you like that sort of thing, the Peter Green era, Stan Webb, all that kind of stuff. Really good. Kind of guitar-driven. Lots of really good bluesy guitar solos, bits of organ. Great drum and the rhythms really locked in. My Whiskey-Headed Woman. Great slow blues. Tasty guitars from Moorshead. And then you got like Brox's kind of lazy, hazy vocal approach. He's got some cornet solos on here too. Very cool. Trouble No More really cooks. Good bluesy, upbeat number. Double Lovin', also another sizzling blues with some killer guitar solos. Roman and Ramblin', more of a blues rock piece. Gritty guitars and piano. A little honky-tonk boogie going on there. Sage of Sydney Street. Nice bass solo from Alex. Really good tune. Then you got the kind of big track at the end is Mutiny, which is this big, long, extended jam with tons of guitar solos from Dunbar. Fantastic drummer, man. Doesn't get enough credit as being one of the greats in rock and roll history. So that's coming in number 3. Number 2, we're going to go to Dr. Dunbar's Prescription from 1968. So they did put out 2 albums in 1968. There we go. Nice little presentation here. So, again, this is their second album. A little more upbeat than the debut. I mean, the debu's got some upbeat stuff on it too, but I find this one's just a little more, maybe a little more rock elements coming into their sound, but still really bluesy. Change Your Lowdown Ways has some absolutely stinging guitar solos from Mr. Moorshead, and Victor's vocals really confident on this track. Great kickoff song. What else? The Fugitive. Lean and mean, hard driving blues. Gotta love it. Courtesy, circa 1968. Gotta love it. Till Your Lovin' Makes Me Blue is this album's big, slow, bluesy number. Lots of tasty guitar and organ going on throughout this. I Tried is big and raucous. Lots of swing on the drums. Gotta love that. You got the Devil Drives, which is more of an acoustic blues tune. Low Gear Man, another big, bright, ballsy slice of rock and blues rock. Moorshead just ripping it up on the guitar in this one, and I love Brox's organ tones on this song also. Mean Old World, you got some dueling guitar and cornet, adds a nice little jammy jazzy thing going to it. It's a nice, pretty extended jam song, so I dig this up. This was almost my number 1. Like I said, these top 3, I kept shuffling. This was originally my number 1. But I decided to have my number 1 be the third album, To Mum from Aynsley and the Boys from 1969. All right, there they are, looking all cleaned up and spiffy. Another cool little package here. Don't Take the Power Away starts the album off on a slow, simmering, bluesy note, right? So it's a little interesting. Most of the rest of these albums start off with more upbeat stuff. This album kind of does the opposite. Pretty cool, though. Then you go to the kind of percolating, groove-laden, run you off the hill. You got a song called Let It Ride, which has tons of groove. Tasty guitar licks and lots of organ. You got Dunbar's busy drum work all over this song. Really, really good. Journey's End, really cool song. It's a kind of jazzy blues instrumental. Lots of guitar and organ soloing. Down, Down, Down is another smoldering blues rocker. Really good vocals from Brox on there. Sugar on the Line also rocks. Also has plenty of groove. The rhythm, the drummer and the bass, and Dunbar and the bass player really, really locked in. Really nice on that. Leaving Right Away is another extended instrumental jam. Lots of blues and jazz elements. Lots of soloing from everyone. Pretty cool tune. It's about seven minutes long. And probably the closest this band would ever go to like kind of progressive or jam rock sort of thing. But definitely pretty cool. These are really good albums. Really good albums. If you've never listened to, I know most people have heard of Aynsley Dunbar because, of course, he's played drums on so many of our favorite bands. But I tell you, if you haven't listened to these albums, definitely check them out. They're very, very cool. So To Mum from Aynsley and the Boys coming at number 1. Number 2, Dr. Dunbar's Prescription. Number 3, the Aynsley Dunbar Retaliation self-titled debut. And number 4, Remains to be Heard. There you have it. Very cool band. that hopefully for some of you, this will be the first time you're checking them out. And it's always good to discover a new band, I always say, even though it's a really old band, right? So there's something kind of extra special about discovering an older band for the first time. It's almost just as special as discovering a brand new band when they kind of come out. So it's very cool either way you look at it. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Yes, I know Pete is wearing a mock turtle today. I'm not having a band shirt or a comic book shirt or something like that. I don't wear them every single day. I wear them probably 98% of the time on the shows, but you know what, I just felt today like it's a little chilly out. Felt like wearing something a little bit warmer, you know. Maybe they should start making turtlenecks with bands on them. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'd wear those, right? What do you think? Also, if you guys appreciate what you see here on the channel, please do click on the link below for our Ko-Fi page and make a contribution to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. We got brand new shirts and all sorts of things on the merch site. That's there as well. And make sure you go check out our website from time to time. A lot of great reviews on there recently. So, things that I talk about on here, things that I don't talk about on here. So you get a little bit of everything over there. So coming up, man, what do we got coming up? So we got all sorts of things coming up this weekend. So we've got Jamie Laszlo is coming back on the show. We are going to rank the catalog of Swedish retro rockers Graveyard. All right, we got Martin Popoff and Rich Catino joining me on Saturday for a show all about early 80s traditional American metal. Okay, that's coming up on Saturday. We've got more Monsters Den coming up. We've got next week, man, so much happening next week. Favorite guitar solos, Frank Marino with a couple special guests. Jimmy Page, favorite guitar solos with a guitar hack coming back on the show. Geez, what else? I know I'm missing all sorts of stuff. There's so much happening, guys. So much in the works, so you don't want to miss any of it. And, of course, Monday night must-see TV with the Hudson Valley Squares. We're doing a part 2 of overlooked albums by bands we love with a very special guest. Going to have a special guest celebrity joining the crew on Monday night. They don't know who it is, only I know, and the guest. So you'll stay tuned for that and check it all out and have fun with it. And I'm sure there's more that's happening that I haven't even mentioned. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Ranking the album shows coming up. Martin Popoff is joining me for Faith No More, for Accept. Jack Toledano's coming on soon to join me for a ranking of Metal Church. We've got another viewer appreciation episode coming up with none other than Scott Berry, who's going to help me talk about some favorite songs, top 10 songs of the Allman Brothers Band. So all this is happening over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for all of it, and there's plenty more where that came from. All right, guys, so take care. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.